The importance of engaging stakeholders in the development and implementation of the national anti-corruption policy is undeniable, as the fight against corruption demands a holistic approach, unit of purpose by all involved. On this account, Acting Secretary to the Cabinet Patrick Kangwa has challenged the Chief Executive Officers (CEOs) to change the outlook of the organizations they represent and consequently the outlook of the whole nation in as far as corruption is concerned. Speaking on his behalf by Local Government Permanent Secretary Wisdom Walia at the Integrity Committee Chief Executive Officers Forum in Lusaka Thursday morning, Mr. Kangwa has called on all stakeholders to get involved in the fight against corruption, stating that the fight against corruption cannot be left to law enforcement agencies alone.
The Zambian government attaches great importance to the fight against corruption. This is demonstrated by its zero-tolerance policy on corruption in all its forms. Government is alive to the fact that developmental gains that are supposed to trickle down to the ordinary Zambian cannot be achieved if corruption is left unchecked. Therefore, we all need to find ways in which we can stop the looting of public resources through bad procurement practices, fraud, theft, and embezzlement, among others. It is therefore important for all of us to individually be part and parcel of the fight against corruption. The fight against corruption cannot be left to law enforcement agencies like the ACC. It has to begin at individual level. I want to leave a challenge with you pertaining to your roles as CEOs. Your roles in the various institutions you represent are too important to be left to chance. You have the opportunity to change the outlook of the organization you represent and consequently the outlook of the whole nation in as far as corruption is concerned. Let us all rise to the challenge and raise our nation above the snare of corruption. This is the only way our government's developmental efforts and agenda is going to translate into reality and trickle down to the common citizen.
And speaking at the same event, Director General of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Gilbert Piri, has called on all stakeholders to take proactive stance of inviting the Anti-Corruption Commission officers to monitor the liberation of various committees in order to ensure that the correct things are done, adding that the fight against corruption is non-negotiable and will continue to be so.
I wish to implore you all to take a proactive stance of inviting our officers through my office to monitor the deliberations of your various committees in order to ensure that the correct things are being done. The Anti-Corruption Commission will only take part in processes where we are involved from the onset or from the outset. And throughout the entire process, we are also on record to have indicated that the fight against corruption is non-negotiable and will continue to be so.
However, if Zambia is to win the fight against corruption, there's need for everyone to play their role and understand what that role is and be allowed to play it. Margaret Chota, Movie TV News in Lusaka.